Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy, Dark Goo here with the new What If. Yes, I was thinking of this What If somewhat. I just thought of it because mostly the fact that I was thinking about another What If that mostly someone commented a while ago saying I'll like it, and I never did like it. Well, I did. It's just, well, I didn't know how to approach this. Well, I did, and I probably will do it later if I have time, because later I have to go bring one of my siblings to the dentist, and it's gonna take literally I don't know how many minutes. So if I get back home early or something, yeah, something like that. But not the point. I also gotta go get milk a while ago. Well, later, and sugar and bread, and that's how I think. I forgot, but not the point. But let me get into the sweater and let me shut the fuck up. So we begin into mostly Issei. Now, or well, mostly a brown-haired boy. Well, let me actually explain this what if exactly it is. So the title is called What If Issei Was Trained by the Strongest Swordsman Somewhat. No, not swordsman, somewhat. Mostly strongest swordsman. Mostly like someone like teachers, like senseis. Like he has sensei, multiple senseis at that time, but not the point. But let's begin into this what if and what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? So we begin into mostly a, well, brown-haired boy who is right now kind of realizing that he's so weak and pathetic. After the battle between mostly Rainer and him, he realized that he's quite pathetic. And also between the battle, and also kind of between the battle of mostly Riser, or not Riser, not just yet, Riser. No, not just Riser just yet. But this is where, well, he realized that he's quite pathetic, very weak. He needs more training, he needs to get stronger. He also realized that he needs a fucking weapon, just similar like Kiba because, Kiba for the one reason that he sucked at using his hands half the time. So of course, either he learns how to use his hands or he gets a weapon, which he doesn't know if Kiba will actually provide a sword every time. So of course he's thinking of actually getting a sword by himself, but then realized that he doesn't know any kendo, except for the ones that usually the girls would have kicked his ass with, mostly the kendo club. But he's not going to join the kendo club because he knows that all the girls hate him. His guts, his life, yeah, that's not happening. So of course one day he decides to kind of ask mostly Rias if he can go on mostly a 1-month training. This is where Rias refuses and Issei was annoyed. Of course Issei kind of just says screw it and just fucking left by kind of just going 1 month. 1 month and actually turned into 2 months, 3 months later. But yeah, Rias was extremely worried and of course kind of confused in why Issei left. He's now considered almost to be a stray because he hasn't been seen for 3 months. But yeah, but one day he appeared, or what actually appeared left of him. He appeared to be different, complete different. You see here, he was trained by 3 different people that he had to mostly come across his adventures, because yes, he kind of did left and of course just went on an adventure to find like 3 senseis. Could have been more, could have been less, but these 3 senseis taught him a lot of things about swordsman technique. So of course right now he actually has 3 different swords. He doesn't use 3 different sword styles, but he just uses 3 different swords. This is where, well, or not 3 different swords, he actually has 2 different swords, but not the point. This is where, well, he's actually going back to school, even though he left for literally 3 months. But he doesn't care. His hair has actually become longer and also darker, but that's not the point. He's right now kind of covered up by a hat. Literally, he's actually wearing kind of a hat that's usually covering up his mostly hair. Of course, well, his eyes became much more darker, sharper, and much more kind of, well, how should I say, much more, well, able to track movements much more faster. But yeah, like adaptation eyes somewhat, because he does actually have a secret gear that allows him to adapt to a lot of things. But yeah, mostly his eyes can keep on track with anyone's movements. Even if they're really fast, he can still be able to kind of see them. But yeah, even if they're a blur, he will be able to adjust his eyes to be able to see that blur much more quicker than ever. But yeah, also, he can always just sense them and where to actually see them. He doesn't just need to use his eyes, because he was also trained in the ways of an ability that's called hawking, allowing him to be able to sense people and also be able to use his own will against them, and also cover his swords or even hands in it. but not the point. He was also kind of learned some other things, but not the point. But we go into mostly Issei kind of appearing back at school. This is where, well, he walked through the gate. Now, of course, I should mention one thing. He is not wearing the school uniform. No, he's not. The fuck he's not. No. He's basically wearing this like different like clothing. He looks like a complete samurai somewhat. Well, not entirely, but he looks like similar like this. He looks kind of like mostly Kisuke's hottest kind of drip, someone like that, with the black kind of mostly cloak and mostly white diamond patterns. Yeah, but of course it's not green that he's wearing. It's kind of like a reddish color, like a crimson red color. But yeah, and of course the bucket hat he kind of has it. He kind of is wearing it. But yeah. But he is also kind of wearing like black boots with what's it called, mostly he does have a cross, but it's upside down to kind of show the unholy cross. Because why the fuck not? Because he's not a fucking mostly like an angel, or not an angel, a what's it called, exorcist, or like someone who believes in God and other things, because he's the devil. So of course he gets the unholy cross. But yeah, but of course that's not the point. This is where, well, he does have 2 swords on him, and he's literally walking just with style, without a care in the world. But yeah. Or, well, he's not wearing similar to that of, like, pants of, like, Kisuke. It is kind of, like, blue jeans, but yeah. And, of course, like, a red kind of, like, shirt. Red shirt that has mostly a green coat over it, but yeah. But this is where, well, he is walking through mostly the school place, getting towards the ORC. But this is where, well, someone actually stopped him. Mostly a girl with red hair, and, of course, mostly she having her hair into 2 pigtails. Well, not that long pigtails, but this is where, well, short kind of pigtails. This is where, well, she does have a sword with her, and she's wondering who exactly Issei is. Well, she has never seen this person. The aura that he gives off is different from the last time for the pervert, because, well, she hasn't seen the pervert in 3 months. But this is where, well, her name is, well, this is where, well, she kind of has mostly brownish eyes, and her name is Toma. But yeah, I forgot first name, but it's like Toma, I think so. Toma's first name? I can't remember. But this is where, well, she narrowed her eyes at mostly the brown hair. Or mostly somewhat the red hair bucket hat person. Well, not red hair. Red kind of, or it's not red, I'm gonna just say green. Similar to that of Kisuke, but not the point. Mostly the green bucket hat kind of person. But yeah. Well, the person kind of like lift his like bucket hat a little bit up to show mostly one of his eyes to be green color. But yeah, other than that, this is where, oh, he narrows his eyes. They're slick right now. This is where, oh, he looks at the girl, and of course sees that the girl has a sword right in front of her. Seems to want to battle him. This is where, well, mostly the person sighs and says, I come back, and the first thing that I have to do is battle someone. Very odd. Whatever. This is where, well, he pulls out, well, his katana out, one of his katanas out, and this is where, before he can, well, unsheath it fully, he just sheaves it back, and just keeps walking forward. Toma was confused until she was about to rush at mostly him, but this is where her sword literally was cut into literally millions of pieces, and it falls down. This is where, well, Toma was confused and said, what the? Who are you? How the? Issei walked past her and says, none of your business, little girl. It's not really why I'm here. It's why the fuck I'm back. Now leave me alone. I'm going back to, well, to see the Grammary. This is where he said, walking away. This is where, well, Toma glares at mostly the boy, but the boy was gone. What the? How the? Huh? Damn it. I really broke a sword. Sona's going to be angry at me. This is where, well, right now, Toma kind of just said. This is where, well, right now, someone says Sona's going to be what? This is where, well, Toma right now just has a shiver down her spine and looks behind and sees, well, Sona and Tsubaki. Sona says, what exactly happened here? This is where, well, Toma says, well, there was a strange person. He had 2 swords. He also had this kind of like an upside down cross. He kind of had no underneath shirt. He kind of had like a green coat. Yes, I'm just going to remove the red shirt, but whatever. Screw it. You know what? I'm going to just remove it. Instead, it's just a green coat because it looks better. This is where, well, she kind of goes on with what mostly the boy was kind of wearing, or the man, or whoever it was, because he seems to be like at least 6'1" tall. Like 6 feet 1 inch tall. But yeah, this is where, well, Mostly Sona narrows her eyes and then thinks about it. He was going to the ORC. Fine. Call the others. Rias might be in danger. This is where, well, mostly Tomonada and Iwasabaki. This is where, well, we go into a time skip of mostly Sona and mostly the others kind of showing up at Rias's kind of, well, barrage, mostly at the old school building. This is where Rias was confused and say, "What are you doing here, Sona?" Sona says, "Toma? Where is the person?" Toma said, "I have no clue. He said, well, this is where, well, Sona just shakes her head and says, "Rias, did you see anyone strange come here or anywhere?" This is where, well, Rias thinks about it and says, "No, not really. There's only, well, Kiba, was it called Azia, was it called Akano and Koneko here. There's no one else. Well, except for Issei that has been missing for 3 months and would be considered a stray later if he doesn't show up in about, we'll say, I don't know, a couple of like days or weeks." This is where, well, mostly someone says, "I see. So that's what is considered to be a stray list. If I would have not shown up about a couple more days later." This is where everyone turns around to see the same person with the bucket hat. His eyes are cold and narrow. This is where, well, you can barely see his kind of upper face because it's covered by the bucket hat shadowness, by mostly the darkness. This is where, well, his face features is kind of a little bit handsome and much more sculpted, but not the point, mostly from the lower. And this is where, well, he does kind of seem to be somewhat growing a beard, but not much. Just because, well, not really a beard, no. He just, actually, yes, he's kind of growing a beard, but not much. It's just like someone with a stump, but not the point. This is where, well, he is kind of wearing mostly the clothing that mostly Toma kind of said. And this is where he does have 2 swords, an unholy cross. And this is where, well, he's literally kind of giving out this menacing aura. Like, goddamn, always on that Black Force energy. But yeah, he's also having Black Boots, but not the point. This is where, well, Ria says, "Huh? How did you..." This is where everyone wind their eyes because they did not even sense this person. They did not sense this motherfucker. He just appeared right there and no one ever sensed him. No one even turned to that side. What? Except for one person, that was Sanji, but when Sanji saw this person, he just thought it was actually part of Ria's Grammar's barrage because he wasn't told exactly what was actually happening. He was just called just to go to the freaking, like, Grammar's barrage, and that's all. He just saw him, didn't care, thought that was just a part of that was Yuta. Well, that was like Kiba trying out new style, becoming emo as hell. But then realized Kiba's over there, so who was this fucker? He then thought it was a different Paraj, or he was about to kind of like become arrogant because, well, mostly at this time, Sanji never met Issei, so yeah, it would be kind of around this time. This is where, well, mostly Rios narrows her eyes and says, "Tell me who you are, stranger." This is where, well, mostly Sona narrows her eyes and kind of just wondering who exactly this person is. This is where, well, the person lifts, he gets up in an instant. This is where, well, he was about to kind of grab his swords until mostly everyone got on guard, even Kiba. And this is where, well, the person smiles with such an evilish smile. But this is where, well, he then kind of like gets to his bucket hat, takes it off and says, "Wow, why are you so also mean? Trying to attack me? So rude, isn't it?" This is where, well, Issei has this like friendly smile. And of course, this is where, well, everyone's confused. This is where, well, mostly Rias and Sona notice the dark brown hair. His eyes are actually a lightish goldenish brown color. And this is where, well, Issei says, "Wow, you people are so mean. I can't believe all of you were trying to attack me for no reason. I was a part of the school for at least 3 months. Well, 3 months ago, but everyone's trying to kill me now for no reason." So mean, all of you. This is where, well, he's acting similar to that Kisuke Urahara's personality, where he doesn't take mostly a lot of situations seriously. But yeah, this is where, well, everyone's so fucking confused. This is where Azia is the only one to notice and says, "Issei!" This is where, well, mostly she rushes up to Issei and hugs him. That's where Issei says, "I miss you so much, Azia. I'm so sorry that I leave you." This is where, well, Azia says, "Never leave me again. I'm so scared." This is where, well, we'll see Issei and Azia are just hugging. This is where everyone is just shocked to see Issei. Issei looks completely different. He looks more handsome. His face looks more handsome. He has more like a dark, kind of edgy kind of personality a little bit. But of course, still the friendly, cheerful personality, and actually one that actually doesn't care too much less about the battle. But yeah. he only got these two kind of personality mostly changes was because of his senseis. You see here, his three senseis, one was strict, one was too kind of like friendly and careless and other things, and he also was extremely smart and tactable and other things, and the last one was just dark and edgy sometimes. But yeah. But this is where, well, he just became mostly kind of like mini version of those three. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei can be friendly, cheerful, and care less about a battle. Kind of become a little bit arrogant, but not much. But he just looks like he just doesn't care about a battle too serious. Just because of one of his senseis named Kisuke Urahara. This is where, well, another time he can be really serious and very cold and dangerous. Just because of his, well, mostly second, what's it called? Or not second, it was actually his first kind of sensei, who's actually named Atomic Samurai, one of the strongest kind of samurais right now in Japan, who actually kind of just kind of between Japan and kind of China. He just travels a while, just around mostly the Eastern countries. And of course, I actually came across mostly a boy that was actually trying to train in mostly a sword. But his sword kind of broke after a while, and mostly Issei just realized that he needs to waste more money. But this is where, well, the Atomic Samurai did take pity on Issei to actually train him, so to get him better into war swordsmanship. And of course, Issei actually almost mastered the Atomic Samurai kind of way, mostly the cutting into like millions of pieces without just like, what's it called, like mostly, well, doing too many fast movements, like taking out his sword and like looking like if he's taking out his sword. But yeah, well, just like kind of grabbing the sword forcefully and trying to swing around forcefully. He does it very soft and what's it called, gentle, those sword strikes. But yeah, of course, well, he was trained by Atomic Samurai. His second, what's it called, sensei was basically a man named by, well, mostly his name was, what's it called, not Draconic, mostly, Mihawk, well, yeah. His second sensei was someone named Dracula Mihawk, who was actually someone usually in the sea, and just trained to like, what's it called? Well, not trained, mostly he was someone in the sea that was actually considered to be the strongest swordsman in the sea, because he never actually went onto land just yet, because usually he doesn't want to just cause destruction most of the time for like a lot of people, even though he doesn't care too much about people. But yeah, he actually came across mostly Mihawk in a battle, and of course mostly Mihawk was impressed with mostly Issei's kind of swordsman skills. It wasn't as strong as the Atomic Samurai's kind of swordsman skills, but it was good enough for mostly Issei to be kind of trained underneath mostly Mihawk, or Dracula Mihawk. Because Issei did say that he wanted to train underneath Mihawk to improve his swordsman skills, because he knows that he is still lacking. Of course, he decided to train with Mihawk, but after a while, after that 1 month, he went on to mostly other places. He went back to Japan, but to actually a different town, to actually find someone who is kind of friendly, cheerful, and doesn't care. But Issei noticed that this man was quite strong and powerful in swordsman skill. So of course Issei asked him for mostly a train, like help. But yeah, his name was mostly Kisuke Urahara. At first he didn't really take him too seriously, but Issei did show him his own swordsman skills to actually see if mostly Kisuke would actually help him. Kisuke said that he already has very good swordsmanship, but what he needs Issei is actually good kind of tactical battles, how to use his brain more often. So of course Issei was mostly trained on that, but yeah. Of course there was also magical skills that mostly Issei could learn, and that was mostly like Hado, Kido, and other things. Even though Soul Reapers can actually use that only, because yes, Soul Reapers in here will actually be existent, but not the point. Even heroes, and also like mostly One Piece villains, but not the point. Like pirates, but that's not the point. This is where, well, Kisuke was surprised that Issei can learn the Hado and other Kidos and other things. This is where, well, mostly Kisuke was surprised, but didn't really question too much on how Issei can even do that, but whatever. It was kind of surprising for mostly Mihawk to actually see Issei be able to use Conqueror's Hawking, even though that's supposedly that's a kind of bloodline type of hawking, that only certain bloodlines can be able to have it, or certain people that has very extreme goals can have it. But yeah, that's where, well, he doesn't understand that much, but he doesn't care too much either. He just needs someone strong and powerful to actually rival him. But yeah, because his other rival is a lazy fuck half the time, mostly in what's it called, Mihawk's kind of words, because he's literally not lazy but a drunken fuck half the time. But yeah. But of course, well, we go into back to Issei, kind of explaining what exactly happened in his mostly 3 months. Yeah, he became stronger in swordsman style. He's better in swordsman than mostly probably Kiba, Toma, and anyone who's actually in this barrage of Rias and Sonas. This is where, well, both of them kind of narrow their eyes. Kiba says, "So you're a better swordsman than me? Then let's see who's stronger." This is where Kiba wants to actually fight Issei to see who is exactly stronger. But yeah, this is where Toma narrows her eyes, but she can't really deny that because her sword literally got cut into millions of pieces. But she actually wants to see how Kiba would go against Issei. This is where, well, we go into the outside, and of course Sona and Rias did ask most of their queens to actually make a barrier. So mostly, if Kiba does use a lot of magic, not many people will sense it. This is where, well, Issei kind of says, "Well, let's do this, Kiba." Kiba nodded, and this is where Kiba actually summons out one of his swords, and that is the Darkness Eraser, or mostly the Holy Eraser. And this is where, well, he swings his like dark sword straight towards Issei. Issei literally catches that shit with only literally 2 fingers, or not 2 fingers. He catches it like with mostly 1 finger, literally like eyes. And Issei says, "Is that supposed to be all?" This is where, well, Issei kind of said with such a cold voice, literally becoming really serious instead of being really goofy and other things about like a second ago. He can become a 180 in an instant. That's how fast his personality can change in an instant. He can be friendly and like uncaring. That's just because that's usually a disguise, just to make other people get angry at him or just think that he's really nothing that much. And then he can just become serious, literally 180 instantly. He grabs Kiba's sword in an instant, and this is where, well, mostly he just grabs it with the finger, and this is where he shatters it. Kiba widened his eyes. He never seen a sword get shattered just by 1 finger. Issei decoded the hand and armament hockey a little bit, but yeah, that finger. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, "Was that all? Oh, I'm sorry. I should be using a sword. I should be using a weapon against you. It's rude of me not to be using a sword against you, Kiba. Because you're supposed to be my sensei, or not sensei, my senpai, for mostly being stronger swordsman than I am." This is where Kiba nodded. He jumps back and makes 2 other swords, 1 ice sword and 1 flame sword. This is where, well, everyone sees it for the first, well, not really the first time. Mostly those who hasn't seen Kiba's mostly sacred gear, they only thought that he only had 1 sacred gear, and that's like the Holy Eraser. But he has multiple others because he has sword birth. This is where Issei said, "Which sword should I use? Ah, yes." He right now grabs the necklace and pulls out mostly the little knife. Now, Ozzy was very confused in why Issei had an unholy cross, but realized that literally that's a knife or a sword. This is where Issei says, "Sorry, this is the smallest sword that I have, Kiba. I don't have anything smaller to fight you against." Kiba right now narrowed his eyes and realized the disrespect on that. This is where everyone realized that how disrespectful Issei got in. Yes, Issei literally got disrespectful because one time he fought against Mihawk when he was exactly dead-ass tired, and fucking Mihawk decided to just troll him that one time. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, "Other than that, let's see who's stronger. My small sword versus yours." This is where, well, mostly Sanji over here saying, is he confident for something? This is where, well, mostly someone in his like team, mostly a girl with white hair, says, "I thought when guys concentrate for something, wouldn't it be they have a giant sword for having a..." This is where, well, Sanjay says, "That is true, but what would that small sword? Does that mean he has a..." This is where mostly Momo right now blushes and says, "No, let's not think about that." This is where, well, Momo's face becomes red because if Issei does have something like that, really, he has a 4 sword that literally allows him to make any... Yeah, no. This is where Momo just doesn't want to think about that right now. No. Her face is all red right now. And this is where, well, Kiba narrows his eyes and rushes at Issei. Issei blocks both of his swords with a tiny sword. This is where, well, he says, "Is that all you can do, Kiba? I thought you were supposed to be the strongest swordsman, or strongest knight for the Gremory." This is where, well, Kiba jumps back and right now swings both of his swords right towards Issei. Issei blocks it with mostly the tiny knife. He keeps blocking them all. Ding, 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 ding. But yeah, it's very easy for him just to block them all. This is where, well, he keeps just blocking all of it. This is where, well, mostly Kiba is just narrow his eyes, but before he can even do anything, Issei stab into his chest. This is where, well, right now Kiba falls down to a little bit on the ground and says, "Damn it, that did so much damage to me." This is where, well, Issei says, "Of course it does so much damage. I hit you in 1 of your pressure points. Other than that, they can be healed by Ozzy later. But right now, you have a battle between me. So get up and try to fight me more. Kiba gets up, and this is where he activates sword birth by kind of putting what's it called magic into the ground and making multiple swords rush towards not Kiba, Issei. And this is where Issei sighs. This is where he decides to put the knife back, and this is where he pulls out one of his swords out. One of the bigger swords. This is where, well, the sword actually had an atomic kind of like handle. Well, not an atomic handle. The guard itself kind of looked like an atomic symbol. Issei pulls it out and literally swing once, and all the swords that are rushing towards him, they're all just cut into literally millions of pieces. Every single element sword that Kiba had and could create, or some of those that just were metallic and were big and sharp and other things, this is where, well, were all just cut down. Issei kind of puts his sword back and looks at Kiba, saying, "Was that the best you can do?" Kiba widened his eyes and fell down to the ground. This is where, on his knees, he looks at Issei with widened eyes. Issei has become much more faster, stronger, and literally can take mostly durable hits from a sword. Because, well, one of the swords did manage to kind of hit Issei, which, well, one of the ice swords, because Issei was blocking them all and decided to let Kiba hit him. But of course, it didn't cut his body. Yes, because Issei had armor and hawking on that clothing and under his shirt. But yeah, never hurt him. This is where Kiba realized that he can't fight against Issei. Issei has become too much of a stronger swordsman than him. He is going to lose his knight position. He's going to become the pawn instead. He says, "Hey, if you're wondering if I should become the knight and you should become the pawn, not gonna happen. I'd rather not deal with this whole double barrage thing. So I'm thinking of leaving most of the time. So yeah, you can still be the knight. I'm not really going to serve as a pretty boy that much. Ugh. I mean, I can still stay as a barrage member. It's just I don't really like doing any of the double contract work or any of that. So instead, I'm just going to be lazy as hell. I don't care if Reyes gets angry or not. Whatever." This is where, well, Issei puts his kind of like sword back, mostly it's like cross sword. And this is where, well, Kiba says, "Issei." This is where, well, Issei says, "Don't question where I learned these swordsmen from, because they won't even try to teach you. I had it to kind of, one took pity on me, the other one kind of got interested in the swordsman skills that I learned from the first swordsman, and the second one just realized that I was still too dumb in swordsman strategy and other stuff. So of course, I just trained with all three of them. Now, if you want to know who exactly they are, sure, I'll tell you." Issei didn't really tell them in the story. He just told them that he was trained by 3 people. But of course, this is where Issei tells Kiba. The first one is actually the strongest hero of the swordsman style. Well, mostly, he is ranked number 4, and his name, well, yeah, he is ranked number 4, and his name is Kamikaze. He is the strongest the atomic swordsman for mostly the hero kind of faction, or mostly the heroes in Japan somewhat. You know, the hero organization? Yeah, that's where he's from. This is where Kiba widened his eyes. He never expected Issei would be trained by him. Issei says, "I also went to the sea to be trained by someone else. His name is Mihawk, or Dracula Mihawk. He's one of the strongest swordsmen in the sea. Someone that's really ruthless and edgy sometimes. Yeah, he probably won't train you because he won't see any interest to actually train someone who can literally just make swords over and over and over. It just gets annoying for him. He'd rather see you use a sword properly and not try to shatter it in just one hit from his. But yeah, other than that, he won't train you." And the last one, his name is Kisuke Urahara, and he is quite tricky to understand him. I was almost lost completely just how smart he is. He's literally smarter than Rias, Sona combined together, because that man, I got almost lost from his just intelligence. Almost. I managed to get up, back again, and learn a lot from him. But other than that, that's what happened in 3 months. And that's literally in just months. Literally 1 month for each sensei. I don't know how much potential you have. I can care less how much potential we have. You can go find them. If you can find them and not die from them, then you got this. Right? Oh no, I'm out of here. Issei walks away, but yeah. So, we go into mostly Issei walking away, but yeah. Now, this is where everyone is just dumbfounded, shocked, and amazed. Actually, Rias is dumbfounded and shocked. Issei's personality has become just different from the original perverted kind of user. Now, he still is the Red Dragon user. Yes, he still is. He just hasn't used the Red Dragon booster gear at all. And yes, Issei has gotten physically kind of toned the fuck out. That means he's kind of well built it, like very well built it, but he's not like built it like one of the Baki characters. No, he's like built it like lean built it, like similar to that Gojo's built. But yeah, but this is where, well, mostly Issei is just walking away. He doesn't seem to care too much about even talking to Rios or any of the others. But yeah, this is where, well, obviously they decided to heal Kiba, but decided to kind of went after Issei if she can find him, which she couldn't. But yeah, this is where, well, we go into mostly a time skip of mostly, well, mostly Kiba getting healthier, of course, after kind of being healed and other things. He's just kind of ashamed for being a Knight of Gremory, and yet he got defeated by the Pawn of Gremory. Well, he isn't a pawn piece, and yet his pawn pieces, he didn't even use promotion, because Rios did allow him to use promotion, but he said didn't even use them. He literally just used basic ass skills to kick the shit out of Kiba. One slash, and that means just cut all his swords down, which was shocking because they were all cut down to millions of pieces. Even though those swords were either made out of metal or some kind of element, yet they were all cut down. Kiba was just shocked, confused, and realized he needs more training, because he realized that the level between him and Issei is just beyond, there's just a huge gap. He then realized one thing. He wants revenge. Not revenge against Issei. He realized that he is weak. He won't be able to go against mostly the Excaliburs. He just remembers that the Excaliburs. He realized that he's too weak, too pathetic. Why has he been just living if it hasn't been for revenge? He realized he has just been blinded from mostly his revenge. And realized that Issei has awoken it. This is where, well, he realized that the sword that Issei uses is not holy. Neither is the cross. It's really just a normal blade. It's just the design. He realized that the Holy Cross kind of reminded him so much of the Holy Excalibur weapons, since they're made out of holy energy. But yeah. And yet Issei didn't have any unholy energy or holy energy. But we go into mostly Issei kind of going home. This is where Ozzy is happy. She's talking to Issei. Issei is just patting her in the head, saying, "I'm so sorry for leaving you. I promise I will make it up with you and go into all your favorite places and cool and blah 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 blah." Yeah, you get the point. Mostly Issei is just kind. He's still very gentle and kind towards Ozzy, because Ozzy is literally his little sister and will always protect her. He doesn't really see Ozzy as a lover or any of that. This is where, well, just kind of hugging her and kind of just, yeah, he basically became somewhat of a siscon, but not much. Mostly thanks to his training ways and other things. His perverted ways, it just went out the window. Yes, literally, it just was thrown out the window. Thanks to all his senseis. Yes, his senseis beat the shit out of him and learned that he needs to get rid of that perversionness. And of course, he did get trained by Mihawk to get rid of it, but yeah. But of course, he did meet someone very cute and interesting when he was training with Mihawk. Was none other than named Persona, a girl with pinkish hair. Well, mostly pinkish hair with two ponytails, or not two ponytails, two pigtails that are kind of long. And this where, well, she had black onyx eyes, and this where, well, she was almost a similar same age as Issei, but not much. But yeah. But of course, mostly Issei and her just talked a while mostly training with Mihawk. But yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei wonders what kind of relationship should he be in. Or should he even be thinking of relationships when he clearly is the devil and literally is serving someone and just doesn't have a will of his own. Well, then again, he does have a will of his own. He can care less. He can actually join any faction now that he thinks about it. He's considered to be one of the strongest users of Swordsman, because, well, Rios won't be able to stop him. She doesn't, well, mostly Issei does not know about her older brother, but not the point. Issei does not care too much, but this is where, well, Issei, what he cares a little bit is the fact that he wonders if he will be able to just probably become a pirate. He doesn't know if he can become a pirate. So Issei doesn't know if he can become a pirate, a pirate like Mihawk, or he can become Soul Reaper. He knows he won't be able to become a Soul Reaper because he needs to be dead to become a Soul Reaper. Similar to that, like Kisuke Urahara, but Kisuke Urahara is like a execution or executed Soul Reaper, not the point. Probably he will be able to work with Urahara in some things. He doesn't know if that would be possible. This is where, well, he then thinks about working with the hero organization. Mostly the heroes, heroes organization from mostly the Protectors of Japan. Not the ones from the hero faction. No, those are different from the hero organization, but yeah. He doesn't know if he should actually work as a hero. If he can be a hero, then that'd be cool. But then again, he's not that interested in like protecting people. He's interested in his own goals, and his own goals are basically just becoming stronger, becoming the strongest swordsman. That's all he has. Other than that, he doesn't really have any other interests until he like finds someone to rival him. Because well, he does have his senses to rival him, but of course he doesn't want to like bother them every day and time to just get stronger. But yeah, he wants someone else to actually help him and grow and become stronger, and also help him in emotions and other things, because he is still kind of mentally emotionally kind of broken with Rainer. So of course that's why he's kind of getting rid of his perversionness, thanks to Rainer kind of like breaking his heart, or mostly just shooting a light spirit into his heart, making him have a huge heart hole in his heart. He really can't really love anyone except for like his family, that being well mostly his mother, father, and Asia. Other than that, any relationship, pervertedness, or sexual, or any of that is out the window, literally. Just he doesn't have any emotions for that. He's not that easily to manipulate. You cannot manipulate Issei, because Issei is actually very kind of, he was trained by Kisuke Hara to be like unable to be manipulated. But yeah, this is where well Issei cannot be manipulated that at all. But yeah, but this is where well we go into mostly them kind of going back home. Of course, when both Mika and Goro heard about this, they were shocked, ecstatic, and happy. They rushed up to Issei and realized how tall Issei became and how muscular. Of course, they asked where Issei had been, and Issei didn't beat around the bushes. No, he did not care. He literally explained two people that trained him. First was the hero, well, mostly the 4th rank hero of Japan, and that being, well, his name is Atomic Samurai. Also, his real name being Kamikaze, but yeah. This is where, well, his father was shocked. His mother was amazed. Can't believe that mostly Issei was trained by the number 4 rank hero. This is where, well, mostly they were shocked. This is where they were a little bit skeptical, because they don't know if that's true. This is where, well, Issei sighs, knowing that both his parents won't believe him. So, of course, Issei decides to kind of ask, well, Atomic Samurai for his phone number before kind of like leaving him after mostly training. Then Atomic Samurai decides to give it to him, and just anytime he needs a call, he will answer it. But yeah, this is where Issei calls up, what's it called, Kamikaze's phone number, and this is where, well, he kind of gives it to his parents, and this is where, well, the person says hello. And this is where, well, mostly they were shocked and say, this is mostly Issei Hyora's parents. Are you really Kamikaze, the number 4 hero, the number rank, yeah, the rank, well, mostly the S-class rank hero from the 4th rank Atomic Samurai? This is where, well, Kamikaze says, yes. How's the boy doing? I haven't seen him for mostly 2 months after our training session. This is where, well, mostly they were shocked to hear that. This is where, well, mostly Atomic Samurai says, he's a good boy. Very strong, very powerful in his swordsman skills now. I was just wondering, are you people that are actually just stopping him from becoming a hero or what? This is where, well, mostly his parents says, no, we're not. We actually want our boy to become a hero, just like you. This is where, well, mostly Atomic Samurai says, I'm glad that you people look to heroes so much. I was just wondering why mostly you say didn't accept the offer to become a hero. Well, if you two are not really holding him back, it might be just personal reason to why he hasn't become a hero. He's strong enough, he's kind-hearted, and he's very, what's it called, determined to protect people. So, I'm just very interested in your son. Your son is one of my strongest disciples, but not the strongest one. I have stronger others, but not the point. This, well, mostly both of his parents were shocked and amazed of their son becoming almost mostly a disciple for mostly the Atomic Samurai. But yeah, in his group. And yes, Issei has met the other, like 3 other disciples. But yeah, mostly it was a guy with blondish hair that looked to be like a knight. So of course the guy kind of had like a knight armor outfit. This is something that mostly Issei imagined Kiba to be in. But yeah, the guy had blonde hair and kind of greenish eyes. Kiba was similar the same. This where, well, he met that guy. He was actually the number 1 disciple for mostly the Atomic Samurai. Then the other 2 was one with a kind of a female that kind of looked like a clown somewhat, and the other one kind of, I forgot what the other one looked like, but yeah. This is where, well, there were basically 3 disciples. Issei was counted as 4, but yeah, I think it was 3 or 4. I can't remember. But this is where, well, there's 4 disciples entirely, but yeah. Issei being the 4th one, but yeah. Issei has also met some of the other heroes like, what's it called? The second, what's it called? Well, not second. Mostly, he has met the strongest man alive, and that being, well, King. Yes, the strongest man. Kind of the, what's it called? Fraud King, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei noticed that he's not that powerful, but he's always interested in King because just of his engine heart. But yeah, he also met, what's it called? Someone named Saitama, who is considered to be a hero who's a B rank. But of course, Issei was interesting and kind of like his kind of cape and other things because he always thought he wanted a cape, but then realized that it kind of gets annoying. But then again, he does wear like a cloak half the time, so meh, he can't really judge. This is where, well, he then he then also meets with like other heroes, but not the point. This is where, well, we'll see both of his parents are ecstatic and shocked and amazed. And of course, if Issei does become a hero, he will become starting out in mostly the B ranks. Mostly and somewhere in the 10th rank, but yeah, just because how strong Issei is. And he's already decided for mostly the Atomic Samurai. And Issei can definitely travel up the ranks to definitely get to S rank. But yeah. This is where, well, Issei kind of thanks mostly the Atomic Samurai for his honesty and actually becoming like a B rank hero, but yeah. And Issei would think about becoming a hero one day, maybe after school or something. This is where, well, mostly the Atomic Samurai says that offer will still be open even if you want to drop out and become a hero. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if you get a GPA or not, or whatever, diploma. This is where, well, mostly Issei nodded and thanked this Atomic Samurai, but yeah. This is where, well, his parents were ecstatic, shocked, and amazed. Of course, the phone hang up, and this is where, well, they're happy. They want to celebrate their son actually becoming a disciple for mostly the strongest swordman, and someone that actually mostly a lot of Japanese people actually look up to, just because of the fact that he brought back like the samurai age, just because the samurai age was a long time ago. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly a lot of people do kind of use katana still, just because of the Atomic Samurai. But yeah, they always want to become similar to that of the Atomic Samurai. This is where, well, mostly Mika kind of decides to, well, go into the kitchen and start kind of cooking up stuff. Issei helped his mother, and of course when it came to cutting, Issei was an expert at cutting. Watermelon, she wanted the watermelon to be cut, and this is where, well, the shell of the watermelon, the green watermelon, was cut perfectly, like it was just cut all off the watermelon, and it was just a red ball on the middle. And this is where Issei then used the knife to just cut the pieces into literally star shapes, and this is where, well, Issei then put them in the plate. This is where Mika was just happy and kind of clapping, just amazed on how her son is just skilled with mostly using sharp objects. This is where, well, Issei was just really good cook. He was also pretty good at cooking. Yes, because he was actually trained by mostly, well, not trained by Mihawk. He was actually kind of having to learn how to cook properly because, well, Mihawk and, well, how should I say, Persona didn't know how to cook that much. So, of course, this is where, well, Issei had to become an expert in cooking. But yeah. This is where, well, these hands are not rated, well, E for everything. These hands are rated E for every, well, not everybody, everything, because, well, he basically can cook, beat the shit out of people, use them to kind of hold the sword and other things, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei just learned that. Also, he was kind of, mostly, Mihawk was also having another disciple with him, being that of a green-haired person named Zoro Onoa. So, of course, mostly Issei kind of had to feed, like, mostly 3 people because, well, Mihawk didn't know how to entirely cook. Neither was Persona or was it called Zoro. Zoro did kind of say that he had a shitty cook named Sanji. And, of course, mostly Issei can see that Sanji was actually a good cook. But, yeah, of course, if he ever meets Sanji, he's going to ask Sanji for actually help in cooking. Because he still is not that great at cooking, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly we go into mostly back into mostly them eating and being happy, talking to each other, and yeah. This is where, well, we go into the next day. The next day happens, and of course, where Issei is yawning, and of course, he needs to get to school. Problem is, he's no longer 5'7" and instead of 6'1", so of course, he doesn't have any school uniform that actually fits him no more, and of course, he can't use magic to help him because, with the love of God, he doesn't have it. So, of course, this is where he says, I'm fucked. Great, whatever. He wears his own, mostly his just attire from yesterday. That he did wash it, but not the point. It did dry up pretty fast, but not the point either. This is where, well, he then kind of gets out, and this is where, well, he's walking downstairs. His mother kind of asks him to wear the uniform. Issei says, Mom, I'm no longer 5'7", I'm 6'1". What do you think the uniform is going to fit me like? This is where his mother says, okay, touche, touche. This is where, well, his father kind of chuckles after seeing how smart his son has became. And this is where, well, I have actually became, but yeah, this is where, well, Ozia is kind of happy to see Issei, even if he's not wearing the school uniform, because, well, she doesn't understand about, like, heights that much, but yeah. Because she does wear a very tight uniform, because, well, for some reason someone gave her a tight uniform, which Issei is always confused, but he will find the son of a bitch and kill them. But yeah, he doesn't care. He will go for murder. He doesn't care. This is where, well, mostly Issei and, what's it called? Ozia decides to, well, yeah, Issei and Ozia are deciding to get out of the house. This is where, well, Issei doesn't have his katanas, which he can't really bring them, but he can bring the unholy cross. Who's going to stop him for that? Who's going to stop him? Like, no one's going to stop him. The fuck? He's having it. This is where, well, he's blessed by the, well, not really blessed by Satan, but, you know, you get the point, right? This is where, well, mostly Issei is just going to school, walking in this freaking outfit, even though it's hot as shit, because it's right now kind of September, but it's not, well, it's September, well, not September, it's actually cold as shit, so of course Issei's kind of warm, so of course no one else can annoy the fuck out of him, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into Issei kind of getting to school. Now, when we get to Issei kind of getting to school, he sees the school entrance. He was here yesterday, so of course he doesn't know why he's nervous right now. Why should he be nervous? He should act like Kisuke half the damn time, so yeah. Or he can become an edgelord like, well, Dracula Mihawk. Or he can definitely just become really serious, like what's it called, the Atomic Samurai Kamikaze. He doesn't know which one to usually pick. This is where he decides to go on with Kisuke's personality most of the time. Because mostly, a lot of people would think that he's dumb and not that, won't take him that serious. If he would have went on like the other two, they would have took him very serious. But this is where, well, Issei decides to kind of go at Ozia to first hour. This is where, oh, the teacher was explaining about mostly there's going to be transfer students, new transfer students, and blah, 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 blah. This is where, well, the teacher was just explaining this because he got there early. But this is where, well, when the teacher kind of heard mostly, well, the door open, he saw Ozzy Argento, which is not a new student. He then saw, well, mostly supposedly Issei Hyoto, which is not another new student. This is where, well, he realized that Issei Hyoto looks completely different. He didn't even notice this was Hyoto. He thought this was actually a new student because, well, he looked back at the roster list and actually realized that the new students are supposed to be 2 new girls, not a guy. Unless this is where, well, the person got confused and had to go to another classroom. The teacher decided to kind of grab Issei from the shoulder, even though the person is quite tall. This is where, well, mostly the teacher said, sir, are you sure you're in the right class? Are you sure you're not a third year? Issei said, huh? What the hell? This is where, well, Issei said, what? Teacher, I'm so hurt the fact that you've forgotten about me. Now, I should mention one thing. There's 2 girls that actually got there early, who are actually, well, mostly 3, but yeah. One that's right now kind of tired and a little bit tired because from the fact that she was being perverted yesterday. But this is where, well, really perverted at, even though through the night. And this is where the other 2 girls are kind of tired, but not that tired. They're just kind of thinking on what kind of kendo swords, or mostly kendo style, should they use against mostly, well, the 2 perverts. Mostly being that of Murahama and Matsuda. But this is where they notice the boy, and of course even the girl who's tired. Ozia is confused and why the teacher is kind of telling Issei that if he's a 3rd year, which she knows that he is in the 3rd year, he's the 2nd year. But then again, she doesn't understand from the new look into the old look of Issei. He might have changed, but there's no reason for you to stop him. That's what Ozia's thinking, but yeah. This is where, well, she's a little confused with that. But this is where, well, mostly Issei said, huh? This is where, well, the teacher says, are you sure you're not from a different class? You look more like a 3rd year. And also, where's your uniform? Issei says, oh, it doesn't fit me no more. And besides, teach, I'm so hurt that you've forgotten about me entirely. Ugh, so mean of you. I'm so freaking sad. Why are you so mean? Sensei, why are you so mean to me? This is where, well, mostly is Sensei being, well, mostly, what's it called? The teacher is just confused. And this is where, well, the teacher says, who are you exactly? And why do you keep calling me Sensei? And why do you say that I've forgotten about you? Issei said, fine. If you want to know my name is Kisuke Urahara. He takes off the bucket hat, and this is where, well, the teacher says, Kisuke Urahara? Nah, I'm just kidding. The name's Issei Hyoto. But other than that, I'm going to my spot. Bye. This is where, well, most of the teacher says, yeah, okay, bye, Issei. Wait, whoa. Hey, we have not even finished talking. Issei said, I'm tired. I don't want to talk to you. Good night. This is where Issei falls asleep. This is where the teacher says, huh? Wait, huh? This is where almost see all the sword shops after seeing how Issei so relaxed, didn't even care, and just playful. But yeah, he acts playful, but not too much. This is where everyone was shocked, mostly the three girls that were there. This is where they really want to ask Issei some questions because he looks completely different. This is where a bunch of students started coming in, even Masakao Murahama Matsuda, and they're kind of being perverted and idiotic and other things. And this is where mostly the teacher said, okay, there are two new students that are coming to this school. Please be nice to them. This is where, the teacher says, you two can come in. A girl with mostly snowy white skin and, of course, mostly icy blue hair, longish blue hair that reaches all down to her back. And, of course, having icy blue eyes as she appeared. This is where, she then says, hello, my name is Estef. This is where she kind of, looks at everyone. She didn't really smile or any of that. She didn't really look happy too much to see the guys staring at her when mostly their eyes are trying to undress her. This is where she wanted to freeze them all. She noticed one guy that wasn't doing that. Instead, the guy was actually asleep. Literally, he fell asleep. Well, not really he fell asleep. He woke up just to hear this, but really, he's looking outside, seeing a battle between green pigs and birds that are angry. This is where he says, interesting. This is where, the blue hair decided to look outside the window because she was confused on what the guy was looking at, and she noticed green pigs right now, small little statue of buildings or whatever, and just these red bird, 3 blue birds, yellow bird, a black bird, white bird, and then this giant red bird, and this is where, she's confused saying, what the? Why does that remind me so much of Angry Birds? And that's not the point. What the hell? How did this? Huh? This is where she just shocked and dumbfounded. This is where, she then had to put her composure together because she didn't want it to look insane. And this is where, she then says, do you have any questions? A lot of guys have questions. And this is where, the guys just ask for mostly if she has a boyfriend, does she that, blah, 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 blah. Mostly the perverts kind of ask for her size and in her, what's it called, color stuff. This is where, they would have keep talking, of course, perverted, if the teacher would have told her to shut up. But Issei decided to shut them up for mostly everyone's sake. Issei right now grabs out these bandages and right now throws it around what's it called, Murahama, because Murahama is in front of Masakao Matsuda. And this is where Murahama was confused. And this is where, Issei decided to pull on the bandage because the bandage decided to reach to the next one, mostly the other bandage piece, and decided to grab it and just pull it straight towards mostly Matsuda to knock them the fuck out, both of them. This is where both of them were knocked out. Everyone was confused and shocked and confused for the new student over there. Is that the new student? They're confused. This is where Issei yawns and falls back asleep. But yeah, he didn't care too much. This is where, the girl was actually amazing skill with mostly the skill that Issei just displayed somewhat. It's quite skillful, but this is where, she's confused a little bit. But yeah. This is where, she can't really see Issei's eye color, or neither, not eye color, upper face thanks to the bucket hat, but yeah. She doesn't even know that you can wear hats. If that was a thing, she would have wear her own special hat. This is where, she sighs a little bit, but yeah. This is where, she then kind of says, is there any other questions? The girls kind of just question out, and how, is mostly her skin natural, or is she kind of got, this is where, as it says, is natural. This is where, they ask her where she's from. She then kind of just says that she's from Russia, but not the point. This is where a lot of people are shocked and hearing this and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this is where Estef was actually told to sit behind mostly Issei Hyoto. And everyone's shocked to hear Issei Hyoto's name. This is where they realize to look at the chair and see Issei asleep. Yeah, everyone was shocked to see him back. But back differently. This motherfucker is having that fucking energy of Black Force energy on him. Everyone was scared half the time because they saw how Issei knocked out the 2 perverts. And yet he's over here sleeping like a goddamn menace. Even the girls are shocked. Except for Moriyama, Catherine, even Aiko, who actually saw this, but still they were actually shocked to see him still here. Issei's asleep. Yeah, Issei was asleep. He didn't give a damn that much. This is where, the teacher says, okay, for the next new student. Everyone says, hold the fuck up. Next new student? I thought Issei was the new student. But then again, he is an old student. This is where everyone's just kind of rambling on. The teacher says, okay, all of you shut up for a second. New student. This is where, the teacher kind of says, you can come in. And the person comes in, and it's a girl with mostly, So basically, the next person is kind of like having the school uniform, but a little bit more like a punk outfit, somewhat. She does kind of have like longish orange hair with mostly darkish skin, a little bit tannish. And this is where, well, she does have boots, not really shoes. And this is where, well, she does have orange hair, well, orange eyes, somewhat. But yeah, this is where, well, everyone is shocked to see this. And this is where, well, a lot of people, a lot of guys were just amazed. Her oppa size is almost the same size as Estes. This is where, well, a lot of people were actually drooling, mostly a lot of guys. The girl never her eyes cold, very dangerously hot. This is where, well, everyone was shocked because, well, the guys kind of felt a cold shiver from mostly Estes, but they felt now a very hot temperature from mostly, dangerous hot temperature from mostly this girl. This is where she says her name is Mariana Phoenix. This is where, well, everyone was shocked to, well, not really everyone. Mostly Issei was kind of confused with the Phoenix part, but he didn't really care. He was still asleep. This is where Mariana kind of just says not to annoy her, not to piss her off, and if you do try to, she will cut you down. She kind of says that her favorite sport is kendo and other things. She's actually hoping to join the kendo club, but yeah. This is where, well, Esther did say that she also wanted to join the kendo club, which mostly the girls of the kendo, they're actually happy to have that. Now, of course, the two perverts shot up after seeing a new student, which they wanted to say something, but yet the still kind of white bandage is still wrapped around him. So, of course, before saying anything, Issei just pulled on it, even though he's asleep, knocking them the fuck out. This is where almost see Marlena was confused, but decides to just ignore it, just seeing the two perverts get knocked out, whatever. This is where, well, she then says that other things and other things, but yeah. But this is where, well, we go into a time skip later on. Issei wakes up after the teacher kind of saying, okay, everyone can leave, go to your next class, and saying, yeah. This is where, well, Issei yawns and says, yeah. That was a good night of sleep. That's where, well, Issei kind of turns around to see the orange hair girl was actually next to him. He's like, she's next to her, well, mostly next to his seat, but yeah. And of course, knowing that Esther's behind him, kind of, probably. He doesn't know where the two new students are at. But Issei yawns and doesn't really care. He gets up and does where, well, he should probably go ask for the damn uniform, because people are going to just stare at him strangely, like if he's got them a samurai or something. He didn't care too much, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei gets up, and this is where, well, the two perverts gets up also to see Issei, and they say, hey, you son of a bitch, why is a pretty boy like you here? I thought there would only be two pretty girls, but no, there's another pretty boy. Issei looks at them and says, what? You idiots, did you forget about me entirely? This is where, well, mostly they say, huh? We don't know you in the first place. Yeah, you don't know me. That's a good thing. So if I hurt you really fucking bad, it doesn't really count as me hurting you. Issei then thought about it so much. Issei says, okay, well, you can call me Kisuke Urahara, and the guy who's gonna kick your ass to the 9 realms of hell. This is where, well, they said, bring it! They got knocked out so easily. Issei clocked them out so easily. This is where, well, Issei literally disappeared from them in an instant, but still kind of moving to the same speed as a normal human, and just knee both of them in the stomach, knocking them out. But yeah, they were just knocked out pretty easily. Issei says, pathetic, don't ever annoy me, and don't piss me off. Fuck's sakes. Issei kind of yawns and kind of walking away. The two girls were actually shocked and a little bit interested in Issei, just from the fact that Issei does have this like interesting aura around him. It's quite powerful and dominating, conquering most of the time. This is where, well, they kind of became having a little tint of blush, even though they're new students. They are not, well, there still are girls, well, no, mostly they are still teenager girls, even though their organization showed that mostly they are not really normal teenager girls, or not organization, the supernatural, but they still act like teenager girls. So of course they're always interested in a guy who's stronger than them. But yeah, this is where, oh, the guy was calm, yawning, and of course had a very friendly personality, but not friendly enough. He could become a 180 serious as hell, but yeah. So of course that's why they were super interested in him. But other than that, I'm gonna end it off here for part mostly 1 of this what if. Other than that, bye soon. Yeah, see ya. There might be people might be coming back from the dead, probably next part, but not the point. Other than that, bye, saying yeah.